Welcome back, guys. We are here at the KeSPA Cup, and we are halfway through the night. It was the night before New Year's, and all through the Nexon studio, we did have lots of great League of Legends action. We already did have T1 taking out the first win over Gen G in a 2-1. How do you feel about that?
Valdez, we are 60% through the night. Not just halfway.
Because it's going to be a 2-0?
It's going to be a 2-0, yeah.
Well, that's what you said about the first series, and then you were wrong. What does it mean? Does it mean that you're going to be wrong again, or
just got the feed.
we're going to just run out of here? Does it mean that one of these teams is actually better enough than the other one that they're going to win 2-0?
You're thinking a little too critical.
Sorry, I know I'm casting with Mr. Draft here. I know it's not an LS acronym, but
drafts are 3 for 3 tonight.
It's true.
All right,
yeah.
so
you are 3 for 3.
Stick around. I'm going to call them at the end of the drafts, okay? Even SKT in Game 3, they tried as they might for the first 6 minutes to lose that game.
They tried hard.
Didn't matter. That was actually one of the... I think that was the most destructive, just raw laning phase loss I think I've seen in all of 2019. Like, from Korean teams.
Oh, okay.
Facing each other. So LCK, yeah.
Yeah.
Spring, summer, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
I see what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty destructive.
Yeah, but they came back.
Especially in the bot lane. They kind of got bopped a bit.
Yeah.
And they came back, and their comp had better scaling, and they got the Dragon Soul, and you called it before
Soul.
They did, yeah. But you called it before the game even started, before you knew about the souls or the situation or the lanes or anything.
I'm going to call him here.
Yeah.
Okay? Just wait till the end of the draft.
Okay.
If Tom gets picked on B1 or R1, R2, okay, you're on your own tonight, and Seth's not coming.
What do you mean Seth's not coming? He's supposed to save all of us. I want to see here exactly. I have the drafts written down. Tom Kenshiro was picked in the last part by Gen G.
Yeah, he was picked on B5.
B5. And then in Game 2, he was picked B2, blue side second pick. And then in Game 3, he was blue side third pick. All 3 times by Gen G, by the way. It didn't seem like T1 was really interested in picking that up. Even, I think, no, they didn't have.
That's a win.
They didn't have an opportunity to pick it, actually, other than in Game 1, really. Yeah. But they had Zyra Khan, so they were like, oh, no, this is another cool combo.
The most interesting thing was they picked the Zyra Khan into the Nautilus, right?
Yeah.
So originally we thought it was Nautilus bot lane. They picked the Rakan into it, but let me actually look at the draft.
Yeah, take a look. See if you can read my handwriting.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I'm not writing too fast.
Where are the picks?
Oh, yeah. So
these are the picks.
The bands and the picks are in between. Second and fourth.
There's 7 champions.
No. It's
all right.
10. Don't worry about it. Either way, guys, we are going to introduce our teams. We got DragonX. They defeated Spear Gaming 2-0 in the series. Not much of a challenge there, as it looks like the same roster will be starting once again with Coach CV Max just taking a little rest there behind Chovy. And, yeah, I mean, they look good, but this is, as we said earlier on, this is going to be kind of their first real challenge up against
the real test.
A top team in Korea, in DAMWON, a team that we haven't seen yet, but it is the same 5 players here in this roster playing at the KeSPA Cup.
We'll have to see how they do here today. I am the one predicting. I know that you're thinking DAMWON.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I'm thinking DAMWON.
You're thinking DAMWON's going to win. And I'm hoping that the drafts have changed up a little bit. I know a lot of people, they talked about the mid Ornn. And you know what? Ornn is actually a fantastic champion.
Yeah.
So, wonder if any more draft shenanigans are going to come out of DragonX. But now we're looking at DAMWON. And they're the team that had the least off-season moves in Korea, so...
Yeah, I believe they're the only team that didn't change anything.
Yeah.
In terms of starting players, that is.
So, Flame is still there as a sub. I didn't see him today, though. But
Yeah.
we'll see how they can perform. It's been a while since they've played, since Worlds. And they don't look in the brightest of spirits. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Nuguri is probably, he's very sad. He's like, there's no klepto. I don't want to be here anymore.
I know. They took away Nuguri's rune.
He's gonna take Omnistone, actually.
Oh, man. Poor Nuguri. I mean, we saw Keen come in and play Vlad and crush some nerds. So Nuguri absolutely still has that champion available, but doesn't have the Klepto to go along with it. You were talking about Gangplank. Maybe this is a player that would be willing to pick it up. He loves to get greedy in the top lane and win the lane anyway.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be too surprised, although we are on the blue side here.
All right. Well, what I can do is I can hope that there's no Tom here. Aurelia gonna
What
be
if they ban it? Is that better?
No. That would mean that
Okay,
you're not
sorry.
aware of how much it can be abused.
True.
Lucian gonna now be banned away by DragonX. I'm not on the Lucian hype train. I'm not personally on it. But Lee Sin now gonna be banned away by DAMWON.
DAMWON Whitey. Hashtag DAMWON win.
You know, I recently used hashtags for the very first time on Twitter. The other day.
I saw you
in the
hashtag NFL. Hashtag NHL. Like.
I had to tag BTS. I needed some assistance.
True. That actually worked.
It did.
Oh.
Yeah. So
You had some good strategies.
thanks.
I was impressed.
All right, Rise now biting the bullet as DragonX ban it away. And Akali is going to be the last ban of DAMWON. Now, Syndra is still up and available. I know I've talked before during KeSPA Cupcast that in theory she's able to be flexed 5 roles. But
Yeah.
we are in Korea, so most likely only mid and AD. And she is honestly a monster right now, so okay. Turn the page.
Oh, yes. Here we are on the next
Yeah.
page. Yeah, and it's interesting because Showmaker's a great Syndra player as well, and I believe that Nuclear can play it. I mean, everybody's kind of got to be able to play that thing, but when you ban the Syndra, it leaves MF open, which is kind of that obvious dominant lane pick towards the bottom side. There have been a lot of times where people said that Nuclear was the big weakness of DAMWON, so getting him on a strong pick to start off is definitely a good start, and we're seeing more and more Rumble coming in here as a first pick red side Rumble comes in. Really not messing around with that pick. A lot of these top teams really loving it so far, Ellis.
Yeah, Rumble. Mid and top flex. Very rarely does he have options to actually go into the jungle. Varus being picked up as well. So DragonX not with too heavy of a commitment so far in the draft. This is what I'm personally a fan of. And now DAMWON. Hope they wouldn't do it. Hope they wouldn't sin like that.
How about Tim?
I'm not a very big fan. No.
Timothy? Oh, no.
All right. Well,
at least they didn't pick Tim.
DAMWON have now put themselves in a really weird spot. They chose 2 champions that must go into the opponents, must engage, and don't actually have a lot of scaling if the opponents draft against it well. Jarvan, really good jungle pick if they do lock it in here against these champions that DAMWON have selected. So this is already looking quite good for DragonX. Now we're going to head into the bans. They're going to knock away the Pike.
That is a nuclear sign, by the way. And Nuguri's family came down again. That's a cute little raccoon there in the middle. Being held by a younger brother.
Well, DAMWON now deciding what they want to ban. It's going to be Thresh. And I think if you're DragonX here, you could actually hold support for counterpick, and in theory go a mage. But don't hold your breath, Valdez.
Mage? What is that?
Don't hold your breath. Zyra is.
Calm down, LS.
All right.
Plays Zyra. She's not tier 1.
The real 5-head picks here. Oh no, I see the Morgana ban, and with Thresh being banned away, it might signal a Leona.
Yes.
Could be coming.
Leona's great against the MF. From wherever she is, you have your ult to shut her down. Can provide a...
Not super great, though, against Kennen and Kiana.
True.
Highly mobile.
Yes.
And
great
Leona...
at engaging, but not so much at...
Right, doing the opposite
assassins.
of what you'd want. Now, DAMWON, interestingly, that's a good ban. The Lissandra beats all 3...
Oh, God. I love that confident auto-lock, too. It's not even like they had to think about that. They're like, yes, Tom Kench is available. Oh, man, I can't wait.
Just get me out. Just take me away now.
Somebody call Achilles.
I'm going to need an ambulance. No, and they're going to handshake it with Nautilus.
I mean, isn't it smart, though, if you know that Korean teams will never pick a counterpick? If it's, like, so ingrained in the meta
Well,
that, you know, maybe on paper
oh, wait.
you can say, like, yeah, it's not a good idea, but if you know, like, okay, DAMWON's absolutely going to pick, like, Nautilus or Braum or something, you know, ridiculous like that.
And now they pick a Blanc. Okay, so can we Vigar one time?
I think you're asking for too much.
Can just Vigar here. Vigar would do no, that is not Vigar. Vigar would annihilate the enemy team.
No,
Single-handedly, he would destroy them.
Nah.
I don't think I'm going to make it to 2020. Valdez.
We're going to need to get Medius over here to resuscitate LS.
I'm going to have to write my will.
Yeah, get on that right now.
Say it live during the cast.
Just leave your magic collection. I'll take that.
All right. I got a couple of Lotuses.
Yeah, just a couple. Yeah, interesting. They bring in another AD into the top side. It's one that they knew who they were playing up against, by the way, in the top lane in the Kennen. It's Nuggery's Kennen, and they're like, yes, Doran, a good Aatrox player, is going to come in here and handle the Kennen lane, and we will use Aatrox for the team fights, hopefully. As, you know, if you can get a big Cataclysm and Aatrox gets in there along with the Equalizer in a perfect world, maybe you can make a team fight happen in that manner with a safe bottom lane. But we'll see how that does go, as it looks like you guys have seen the drafts, and we are ready to hop into game number 1 right now. Caster Sung just passing over the ability for the DragonX side to do their cheer because they were too slow. And yeah, they don't have a cheerleader either. I suppose with some of the changes and the players being mixed around, new coaches, new teams, new sponsors, we got new fans and new fan chanters. And we really need to work on the fan chant. Hopefully they can get that done by LCK 2020, but DAMWON definitely won the fan chant war, at least.
I'm going to need a little bit more time. I'm trying to actually think who won this.
Okay.
This draft. This is one of those drafts where it really does feel 55-45 or something of that nature. It feels so close. And mostly I'm saying that just because what is required of both parties in a vacuum, I think is unrealistic. I think that there's so many different ways that the game can end up going with these kind of champions. Like, they can itemize differently depending on game flow, and that affects every individual breakpoint.
Yeah, but we know they're just gonna. We just know they're gonna build Morellonomicon, so you can base your decisions on that.
I think realistically, DragonX have the better team composition, but it doesn't mean that DAMWON won't win. It's very, very, very thin, but I would give the edge to DragonX.
Okay. It is going to come down to gameplay, as always. And speaking of which, Pyosik did go over a ward, so they know he is up here. And vertical jungling is in effect. Notice that Kiana, staying down on the bottom side, will potentially go over to the enemy blue, as the ward is no longer there to spot the Jarvan. But they should know that he was up there for quite a while.
Coin Emperor Tom Kench, by the way, for Keria. You can see that he's a bit of an intellectual.
Ooh, nice. Dredgeline there, trying to get on top of Deft, who is going to flash away, but the Ignite ticking down. One more auto might do it, but they're not going to get in range, as Keria and Deft are going to escape the exhaust, heal, and flash, all burned on the escape. But more summoners, actually, on the opposite side. 4 total for DAMWON attempting to pick up that kill.
Yeah, and now Keria and Pyosik both here. They have Tom Kench Devour if they would have needed it for anything with the Crab. Chovy utilizing priority right now in mid, comes over, plants a ward, just seeing where Canyon would be going. Now, they know that he has 12 CS, so here's the thing. He's going to recall. They can track the 10 seconds that he needs to regen all of his HP and mana, and then the amount of time that it takes him to get over to the Wolf Camp. Everyone on DragonX right now has map hacks until about 450. So, laners are all completely fine. Pyosik is able to just clear bottom to top, and Chovy is doing completely fine in mid lane. Also, actually, I hadn't noticed before the barrier on Chovy. I thought that he had teleport. This actually makes it a lot better for DragonX also in the mid and late game. Barrier will help him scale better than a teleport would, just because of the nature of both team comps. You're never 1-3-1ing or splitting or anything of that sort, so no. Barrier is just going to do a lot more. Canyon looking to sin, though. He's foregoing his camps and just running around trying to do something, but Kiana is not a low econ jungler. And personally, I think that she got hit really hard with the preseason changes because XP, less gold. Now, she does have really good components on recalls. She just gets longswords over and over and over and over because all that she does is build lethality items. But she's missing base levels. She is still having less gold to work with. She doesn't function as well in a low econ game as, say, Jarvan, who all he needs to do is EQ and R, and I mean, his job is done. It doesn't matter if he's dealing damage or not.
We saw that from Haru, actually, the time that he was playing. Went in there and died a bunch of times, but got a bunch of good cataclysms, and doesn't even really need to survive as long as he sets it up for his team. So, I mean, he's going to get off to a good start, but more importantly, Kiana is going to get off to a very slow start here. Only level 4, and looking to catch up about 2 camps behind the Jarvan, as Pyosik, speaking of which, is looking to head down towards the bottom lane here, looking for a gank. Doesn't look like that one minion spotted him. And then just says, nah.
Well, I mean, it lines up pretty well. The Gromp had just ended up respawning, so if an opportunity did arrive, then he would have been able to capitalize on it. That's a really nice equalizer by Chovy. He doesn't need it for anything. There's no roams. There's no onus on him to try to make anything happen in coming moments, so the cooldown is so short. He gets dual pressure, takes all of Showmaker's HP, gets the wave. Showmaker now finally going to get to recall.
Yeah, first items here for the side of Chovy are cloth armor and merc treads.
Yep.
So the merc treads, self-explanatory against any LeBlanc lane. Pretty much everyone will take it. But also getting that cloth armor early on here.
And for people watching, mobility is an offensive and defensive stat, obviously. Rumble has such nice base damages, he doesn't really need power items, especially not in mid lane. Such close proximity and safety overall inside of the lane. He's going to be just fine. Lost chapter completed for Showmaker on this LeBlanc. And Canyon, I mean, he has Blue Smite, he has Predator, but only level 4. Pioshik already level 5, finishing up on the Golem.
6.
And yeah, he's level 6 now. And Canyon just dinged level 5. And this is going to be another problem as well. Kiana not as good as Jarvan at doing things.
Canyon getting in there, has to dash over the wall. What? Doesn't have his flash yet, and that's going to be first blood.
Hello?
He was looking for action, and Nuggery's even going to get baited into that. Has to flash out of the Infernal Chains just to survive. And a big win already going the way of DragonX.
So at this stage of the game, this is sort of what I was talking about earlier on, where there's so many things that can happen in the early stages that would probably just compound with one another. And even though the bottom lane of Nuclear and Beryl got the advantage early on, they're not really achieving too much. LeBlanc's going even against Rumble. But the jungler gap is so large right now, and Kennon's not getting a lead, that even though the gold advantage for DragonX is only 500, they're actually so far ahead in terms of what is and isn't going to be possible by DAMWON, because this Kiana is never getting online. They're going to be playing a 4v5. She needed to get stuff going early on, or she's just sort of out of the game. It's like a weird version of Shaco, in a way.
I remember that champion.
You do? Yeah?
Yeah.
I actually think he's pretty okay support.
Okay.
He is okay support.
AP?
But listen, Korea's never touched him. No. All right, if his name isn't Braum, Nautilus, or Tom, okay, we don't even go there.
Hey, we get Leona every once in a while.
And sometimes.
That's it.
Maybe when the sun shines.
That's it, though.
Yeah.
That's where it ends. That's where the list is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a kind of strange maneuver by Canyon. I guess he was not expecting Pioshik to be there ever. And so he was scanning for a ward and looking for a potential dive in the top side, but Doran had flash, whereas Canyon did not.
Canyon is struggling here.
You can't kill Agatha over here.
Oh, okay.
No, he's gonna get
Yeah,
that.
he got it. So he just dinged level 6. Pioshik is already into 7 while doing the golems. And remember, I talked about this in the previous series. For those that might not be keeping super up with some preseason changes.
Nuggery, no flash. We got Pioshik, he's
got
got his
yeah.
Cataclysm. This Nuggery is so dead! Up in the top side, baited into a fight with Doran after spotting him. And the second you have no flash and Jarvan is anywhere near you with Cataclysm, by the way, didn't even have to flash himself.
Yeah, he didn't even need it.
Easy kill. Just nicely played by Doran to find him and go for that kind of a roam into the enemy jungle and set it up. And DAMWON already kind of falling apart. DragonX looking good.
Well, Canyon's going to get the Scuttle Crab. He's going to start the Cloud Dragon. But really, the game is just sort of running away from DAMWON. And it's a byproduct of DAMWON. They don't have a jungle. They don't have a jungle champion. Their LeBlanc is neutralized due to the dynamics of the lane matchup. They have a Kennen that's falling behind. Kennen's a terrible champion, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there for you, Valdez. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that one from you before.
He did get a little bit of aid, though, with the Conqueror change, but still. Doran, yeah, Jarvan didn't even need to use his flash.
He lightning rushed into the Aatrox by accident. He just never expected him to be there, which is why I gave credit to Doran for just setting it up and being in an unexpected spot to try to potentially set up another kill, because he knows that you talked about neutralizing lanes. They're not really going to be able to group on the Rumble. The bottom side is just, it's been boring the whole game. And so maybe Canyon would return to the top side, or Nuguri might look to put down Vision to stop a dive. And that's exactly where Doran went, to try to shut that down, both cases. And that's why I feel like his positioning was top-notch.
Well, I mean, so far everything's been going really good. Piochik has been really on point so far this game, and all the lanes for DragonX have been very stable. Deft and Kyria doing completely fine, especially after the early game start. Piochik down here now in bottom lane, not going to be able to actually, I don't know what they're even thinking about.
Okay, big engage, double knock up, Kyria. See you later, buddy. And he's going in. Piochik is a man on a mission. Might be a dead man now, though, as Piochik is going to get inside there, and he's going to get away. But Toby is going to get baited by the stopwatch, and Def is not done yet. He's going 1v3. He's going to try to take down Showmaker after getting that double kill. But Showmaker thinks better of it and will back away. What? By the way, in the top lane, Nuguri baited into a fight, and Doran makes quick work of him, now 2-0-1 on the Aatrox.
I mean, Doran is, he's living up to his Elite 3 status now. Yeah. That Khan is gone. He has entered into the Elite 4 in terms of LCK top laners. And, I mean, he's doing absolutely fantastic. He was given a slight lead. Yeah, this bottom play makes no sense. Well, so they want to summon the Herald, and I guess they don't anticipate that Canyon's already here. But you can see that even before Canyon was here, stuff was a little bit dicey. They were doing this mostly to get 240 gold worth of plates, because they were trying to synergize it with the bot wave crash. Now, Chovy and Showmaker both able to be here. Equalizer came out, Def said, it's my time. Went over, and Varus just getting so much action. Nuguri failing to crash this wave onto Doran. Doran, who has flash available, Nuguri, who doesn't. Doran doesn't even need it, though.
It's Nuguri down a level trying to trade with an Aatrox.
Oh, he looks very, I mean, that just looks tilted. I don't know.
Yeah, he should never be in that position. Just overestimating his escapability, but you got to be careful up against an Aatrox that has flash, as you mentioned. When you don't, like, so, the play didn't even have to be that clean, and Aatrox still could have gotten the kill.
In game number 2, hopefully DAMWON don't draft something that is so conditional on high variance, almost, the early game. Like, the Kiana has to get ahead. I likened her earlier on to Shaco. And obviously, with the LeBlanc, there is definitely things you can do in this bottom lane. The Misfortune and the Nautilus, things can happen. But it's very bizarre to do this in the opening game, and they're being punished for it in game number 1. It's obviously a lot easier to pilot DragonX's comp, especially from this stage where everything is just going their way. And looks like Jarvan is actually going into the tank. Maybe he'll just go stopwatch. We'll see if he picks up a Negatron Cloak as his next item to go Stone Plate.
That's definitely a question. But Piochik is doing a great job of just mirroring exactly where this Kiana is.
In between the break, I was actually having a conversation with Nemesis about the Dragon Souls.
Okay.
And he told me that he thought that Mountain was actually the worst. Well, I told him Mountain is really good because teams right now pick... Well, hold on.
Yeah, we got some action here. Beryl taking a lot of damage. There's the equalizer. Perfect positioning. Beryl trying to escape and engage at the same time. Big knockup from the combo of Kiana and the MF. Nuguri coming in here, stuns 3 of them and takes out 2. But will he survive? No, he will not, but he sets up the play for his team. Showmaker gonna miss the chains. That is so unfortunate.
Doran!
And now Doran is just a monster. Look at this guy. As, well, Canyon is going to say goodbye to Chovy. But can he get the kill onto LeBlanc is the question here for Doran. Miss. Will we have a strike? Nope, gonna be denied. And there we go. Finally comes in as the dash will net Doran another kill. On top of it all, a messy fight, but a fun one indeed.
And so we're going to take a quick look at this replay. So it starts off with the Varus chain. Tim Could not get onto Barrel as clean as he would have liked. Equalizer comes in, but you can see Jarvan didn't want to commit underneath the turret. Canyon had a really nice angle to get that ultimate. Pyosik tries to go for the EQ, but I think he just cast it really quick. It didn't even go that far, but he knows that Showmaker was on the way. And then DAMWON, they were just able to turn this, but then Doran, with the hero turnaround onto Nuclear, gets the reset on Aatrox. Initially turns around to look at Canyon before going back to Showmaker. But a second ago, I was mentioning Mountain Dragons because I feel like we're going to get one here, Mountain Dragon Soul. And the only instance where Mountain Drake, yeah, there it is, Mountain Soul, is when pro teams pick center team compositions that hard dive in and have assassins and low econ champs. Mountain's really good against that. You get the resistances and then you get the shield and then they just feel really, really, really bad. But I think that's the only argument between Mountain and Cloud. Are we going to get an Infernal Soul tonight, Valdez, or what?
Yeah. Survey says no. I'm sure you read the script as well, just to understand that it's not going to happen. We don't get to have those flashy ones, just the defensive ones. Although I suppose Cloud is supposed to be alongside Infernal as more of a playmaking dragon, an offensive one. As okay, this is interesting. I knew I didn't have to play-by-play it because that's just never going to work against a LeBlanc.
In a spot like this, items like Wit's End become so much better if you're a DragonX fan. If you get 3 Mountain Dragons and you go Wit's End on Varus, you get Seeker's Armguard into Zanya's on Rumble. You can even get Banshee's Veil. You get Stoneplate on Jarvan. You get Maw of Malmortius on Aatrox. So many things. And if you can get all of those dragons, get the Mountain Soul, you just laugh at DAMWON's team composition. There is nothing that it's going to be able to do.
Yeah, it is true. And it was kind of funny. Oh, I'm going to hold that thought as Varus is getting TP'd on here. Deft with flash and heal, though. Doesn't seem to be in any danger. Is going to get away, and that teleport is not going to pay off for Showmaker. All right, Pyosik. All right. He had a good early game, but after that, yeah, okay, everything's going wide tonight. Swing and a miss. A bunch of times in a row. We're almost on strike 3. Perhaps we could get it here. As Pyosik trying to engage now onto Showmaker, but a simple extra distortion and a little pat on the back there from Showmaker is going to be strike 3.
Barrel actually, oh man.
Oh, Barrel. It's a big slow from the tongue.
Oh.
And the exhaust, they're really committing to this. And yeah, they did not even get close. It's about 4 plays in a row now that have been head scratchers.
I gotta point out to you, Valdez, by the way, we have 16 total kills in 19 minutes in an LCK game. This is not all that common. Real. Yeah, it's not
No.
How
did that even happen? We had like a couple of big fights in the bottom side, I suppose.
Cannon's death, Canyon's death. That's 3. And then we had, yeah, we had the fights down in bottom.
2 big fights in the bottom that were really at the trade back in order to flash the wall.
Yep.
And then the second one where Doran turned it around and picked up 2 kills at the very end of it. That is a massive Aatrox, by the way. 5-0. Seems like Doran, I know he had a early start on the cannon, but as I mentioned in the draft, this was picked into the cannon. And Doran seems very comfortable in this matchup.
Ooh.
I just had to do a quick caster curse, you know, to give Nuguri a chance. But at the end of the day, Doran's still going to be dominating that lane.
Oh. Only 1,500 gold lead right now for DragonX, but they're the ones that are going to be scaling a lot better than DAMWON in this game. First lethality item picked up for Canyon as well, by the way, so LeBlanc now with a Fiendish Codex. We'll have to see what Showmaker wants to actually path that into.
That lethality item, I believe, is the Umbral Glaive, which has the Blackout passive. So it's good for clearing out vision, clearing out the jungle, and any wards from your enemy. It's cheaper than the other lethality items. More of a utility, whilst also giving some damage built into it.
Well,
there it was in action.
Yeah, that was
yeah, that's the Blackout passive.
All right, here we go. Mountain Dragon. This is actually, it's very, very big, but not for some reasons that people might think. It's so important for DAMWON to prevent the capture of this. They don't really need it themselves, but they need to make sure. What did Canyon just? He just ult the. What?
So it's very important, but they skipped on that. They're going to give the first one over to DragonX with no contest, really. It was only Showmaker that seemed to say, hey guys, we should probably fight over this, or maybe I can get some damage done, whilst everybody else was in the mid lane pushing.
So this is truly an alternative win con now that is granted to DragonX, because getting Mountain Soul will end the game for sure. Kennen, Kiana, and LeBlanc will not be able to penetrate a team that has Mountain Soul. They will not be able to do what they want to outside of some 4-man slicing Maelstrom into Kiana ultimate with bullet time going on. I mean, that's just not realistic, though.
Yeah, you're looking for the dream,
yeah.
Really. Maybe some kind of Kennen flank, but he's already down 2 levels. So even if he does get a flank, I feel like Dorn would just pop him like a balloon. Doesn't even have Zhonya's yet. Went for the full Morellonomicon.
Yeah.
And that will be good against the Aatrox.
Oh, and Yoshik actually went Guardian Angel.
Yep.
Second item. This is something I actually really like, especially if you're ahead of the opposing team, or if they have multiple assassins. It really ruins their day.
Oh, yeah.
Inside of team fights.
You see it a lot in solo queue, because there's a lot of assassins and damage in solo queue. You get ahead, you get a couple of kills. You might as well just build Guardian Angel. It's not that expensive. So you just pick it up real quick, and then they're like, well, we can't attack the Jarvan. We're already behind.
Yeah.
So similar situation here in a pro game. We see Canyon now trying to set up for a play in the bottom side, but Doran's already read this. There's a ward in the brush. And that will spot Canyon. Thankfully, he's got that Blackout passive. And another Dirk has been completed here for Canyon. Just building up those long swords, trying to get more and more lethality so you can eventually do something in this game.
Well, let's see what is going to happen in coming minutes. Because if DragonX are just content to sit back and keep playing ping pong, there's nothing that DAMWON can actually do. There's no way for them to siege a turret. There's no way for them to force DragonX to come out because there's nothing to fight over. So DAMWON also cannot just randomly start the Baron. They need quite a few kills to start a Baron. They do not have one of the best Baron taking potentials.
Yeah, and even though they have a bit of damage, they don't really have a real tank. I mean, they have Nautilus, but he's a support Nautilus and down on levels, so even if they tried to start it and turn or something, it's not realistic. They'll just be playing from behind and holding on. Makes you wonder if they're waiting for some kind of item timing to go for some kind of big fight, or maybe they just feel helpless in this moment as another Chain of Corruption is going to come down. They're using so many ultimates just to kill Beryl, and they will at the end of it all, as the 2 ultimates do come down to take out a support. But it's also a big engage tool on the side of DAMWON Gaming, who also did have to burn his flash. So they take away that engage tool. Let's see where they go from here.
I think Showmaker's building a Banshee's Veil on LeBlanc second, which is just so bizarre because what spells are you trying to block that are meaningful or that are game-changing?
I was just laughing at Canyon.
Okay.
Not at you.
It would have worked both, you know? I mean,
yeah,
it's fine. Chat laughs at me enough. I'm used to it. It's okay.
Yeah. KEKW.
Yeah. KEKW all the time.
I just dream of a chat full of KEKWs. That's all I'm asking for.
That's all I'm asking for. As we take a look at the replay, the chains come out. Tim ends up getting the Q right there, and eventually Barrel is brought down. 30 seconds until the next Mountain Dragon. We are in for a game tonight, Valdez. Hello.
Yeah, it's so this is why I was asking the question, are they waiting for some timing? Because every single time they get another Mountain Drake,
have you noticed?
It's just
no matter how aggressive a team composition tends to be, it's almost a guaranteed at 15 plus minutes, you don't have enough damage to siege turrets. You don't have enough damage to just arbitrarily dive them. And so, we get to the lull state.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
No freezing. Only in Korea is there freezing. Outside, not here in League of Legends. Another Mountain Drake. This time it looks like DAMWON do want to fight.
They have to.
That's what I'm saying.
And they're not going to. All right,
well, they're going to look for the steal as the burst comes in, but no, it goes the way of DragonX, and that Qiyana ult goes wide. Barrel is so dead,
Game
and
is
a
over.
massive Cataclysm comes in.
Oh, my.
Big combo, though, from the Slicing Maelstrom and the bullet time, but
yeah.
It just doesn't matter. You're not doing damage against this team comp when they're this position, as Showmaker is trying desperately to pick someone off, but he doesn't do damage against Double Mountain. Not when you're this far behind. Doran just styling now. He didn't even have to do that. As DragonX, they pick up the big fight. Now they're going to pick up their free objective as Deft says, no, I'm not done killing them. He makes a double kill happen out of literally thin air. As Deft, like playing like a madman here in game number 1.
All right, well, let's take a look at this. This was actually the dream scenario, by the way. They did get it, and it still wasn't enough. So, Canyon whiffs the ult, well, uses the ult, doesn't do anything. They lose out on the Mountain Dragon. Barrel goes down immediately. Cataclysm cast onto Kennen. 4-man slicing Maelstrom with bullet time. They just don't have enough damage, though. It doesn't matter. And then, this is what you get for picking mono red, you know? That's exactly, I love seeing red decks lose.
You run straight into double Deafening Clarion. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna forfeit now.
Well,
we got all the
magic
magic
really
beams
happy.
here.
I mean, blue is the best color. Valdez, okay? I mean, come on.
Look at Deft, though. He's like when you're playing against a control deck and they put out that legendary dragon, and you're like, okay, the game's over, actually. Yeah. And that's exactly what it feels like in this game.
In game number 2, we got to make sure, again, to call it at the draft. Okay.
Okay. So you were right about this one at the draft. You did say DragonX, although a minor lead, you were saying that they were in the lead in terms of the draft, so should be 4 of 4 now of the games that you have called. What minute do you think you were 100% sure that this game was over?
The kill on Qiyana. No. Yeah, no. When Qiyana pathed to Wraiths with 16 CS. No, that's actually really big. Because it means that she's about 2.5 minutes behind Jarvan by mid-game. And that's just too big. There's no way, I think, from that point to return to your Wolves, your Gromp, and then somehow catch up to Jarvan while also aligning with your laner's recalls. Yeah. I know it sounds really weird, but the opponents have control, not you. So it's so hard, it's such a tall ask that by that point, you know, at 10 minutes, it's going to be relatively even. If LeBlanc, Qiyana, and Kennen are relatively even, they're losing. So there's very thin lines that can be walked. And again, it probably wouldn't be the case if there was a big team discrepancy.
Yeah.
But there's not.
Yeah, both these teams, top teams in Korea. It started with the draft, and it ended with the jungle pathing. And having Qiyana shut down from very early, looking for, oh, that even fooled the observer, as Nuggery is just going to get bopped here by Pyosik. From the get-go, very, very far ahead. No contest, really, as this should be the most one-sided game we've had all night. And Pyosik just going to die immediately. Nuclear does do a lot of damage, as he is going to bullet time straight in the face of Deft, who just does not care and will not die in this game. He just will not have it. And that is going to be the end of this one. The Nexus is going to go down 19-7 and kills 10,000 ahead. DragonX make a statement here in game number 1. Some big hugs from CV Max. Deft, I think that might have been, that was just an insane performance, by the way, from the 80 carry of DragonX. He'd be my easy MVP. Not sure how you're feeling. Maybe you're feeling that the MVP was the draft? Maybe it was the Aatrox that you love so much.
So, I think it, oh man. Yeah, it's definitely between Deft and Doron. I think I would give it to Doron. I would give it to Doron. It's really thin, and I know that Deft obviously had some pretty pop-off moments, but a lot of that was constructed by his teammates, giving him the opportunity, whereas Doron was sort of making his own opportunities in some cases.
I mean, Canyon kind of underhand threw to him in the top side, which got him into a position to solo kill, which got him into a position to teleport, flank, and do as much as he did. But, I mean, he had to execute under all of those circumstances. Yeah. Even if he gets ahead, no guarantee that he's going to get the solo kill, et cetera, with the timing on the teleport. So I do agree. I mean, I think that's a good MVP this time around from the guys over at KeSPA. As you see, Canyon says, here, take me with you.
This is where it was so bizarre. Canyon, he came up, he had the sweeping lens active, and he walked into Pyoshik, he died. And then right here, I don't know what Nuggery's trying to achieve. He's trying to tag Aatrox for meaningless damage.
Well, he didn't see him until he came around the bend and the lightning rush ended. So I think he was just trying to put down a ward to prevent dives. That was my guess, but it did look strange as he just kind of helplessly died in a 2v1.
And well, here, this is where stuff started to look a little bit strange. Beryl ended up going golden. Deft just turning things around and said, well, we're gonna make a little bit more of the situation. This is where it was so bizarre as well. The spacing on Nuggery, allowing Doron to do this. World Ender gets cast. Slicing Maelstrom, it just didn't matter. Nuggery definitely looking a little bit tilted. And hopefully in game number 2, they do not pick another Sinner composition that puts enormous amounts of responsibility on themselves and requires opponents to make mistakes.
DAMWON loves sitting, though.
They actually do. They're one of the most sinful teams in terms of team comps of LCK teams, especially at Worlds. So,
absolutely. Both Doran and Deft having giant pop-off moments in this game. So I'm sure DragonX over the course of this tournament already have gained a lot of fans just because of the mechanical plays that these players are able to pull off. I mean, you're adding some of the most mechanically talented players from Old Griffin plus Deft, which just is it's a deadly combo.
I remember talking on stream, I think it was 3 days ago or so, about how I think it's going to just be SKT and DragonX as the 2 top teams, and a lot of people obviously on the Gen G hype, but DragonX and SKT just have a lot to work with and do. DragonX on paper is also just insane. Doron,
I mean, Doran is a lot better than people give him credit for.
Doran's now in the Elite Four because Khan has left.
He's entered,
Yeah, he's actually in the Elite Four of top laners now, so he used to be the bar just below them. He was Pokemon Trainer Red.
But you gotta hand it to him. He has gotten up there to the Elite Four and joined them himself. And this squad from DragonX, a fun sight to watch. Let's watch them again after the break.
On the battlefield, dominate your competition with the infrared beam. And if that's not enough, experience real rapid-fire action with the Gel Bead Blaster. With the included interactive curriculum, anyone can learn how to code, teach it to move, recognize shapes, and a whole lot more.
안녕하세요. The Lion, The Tiger 장민철입니다.
크리템입니다.
담원 게이밍 유일하게 로스터 변화가 코칭 스태프 빼고는 없었어요.
그러니까 되게 잘 지킨 거예요, 진짜.
네. 또 재밌는 게 이재민 코치랑 김정수 감독이 트레이드가 약간 되는 느낌으로 과연 이재민 코치가 담원 게이밍에서는 어떤 조리를 좀 할지.
원래 또 김정수 감독님이 워낙 뭐 유명 지금 가장 잘 나가는 셰프라고 할까요, 요즘?
그렇죠.
계속 식당도 자주 바꾸셨는데도
맞아요.
커리어가 쫙쫙 쌓이고 계시거든요.
이재민 코치도 콩두몬스터부터 아프리카 프릭스, T1
또 우리 사자와 함께 했던
네, 담원 게이밍까지 왔는데 이 셰프가 재밌는 게 평소에 진짜 얌전하거든요. 근데 선수 하나가 말 잘 안 듣는다. 아니, 관심을 꺼요.
그냥
네, 관심을 꺼버려. 그러니까 그 선수가 이제
무관심.
오히려 안달이 나는 거죠.
저를 좀 봐주세요.
네, 저를 좀 봐주세요. 말 잘 들을게요.
네.
약간 그런 스타일이거든요.
약간
그래서
밀당을 잘한다.
저는 그거 보고 이런 방법도 있구나. 나도 애들 쌩까야겠어. 연애랑 비슷하게 약간 당연하게 오더니 톡도 끊어버리면 왜 안 오지? 뭔 일 있나?
그게 또 결혼의 비밀이에요, 어떤?
아니, 저는 밀당 안 해요.
그럼 어떻게 해요?
그냥 다이렉트.
다행이다.
너 마음에 든다 사귀자.
오.
네, 바로.
근데 확실히 우린 용기가 있어야 돼.
네.
우리 같은 사람들.
아니 일단 사냥은 해야지.
그러니까 우린 달려들어 일단.
일단 물어보고 안 되면
이게 좀 실제랑은 오해하지 마시고요. 그냥 비유라는 겁니다.
그렇죠.
동물이니까.
이로 이렇게 물어보고.
저희
안 되면
맹수니까.
사귀고.
나도 반엔 맹가야.
동물로 따지면은 신은 강자면서도
좀 이제 센 거 나와야 되는 거 아니지?
그리고 경기 스타일이 굉장히 화끈하죠.
왜?
코뿔소.
약간
일단 들이박아.
약간 미친 애지.
네. 진짜로 이 코뿔소가 뒤를 못 보거든요.
그래요?
네. 그러니까 볼 수
그렇겠네.
있는데 목이
이렇게
이렇게 돼서가지고 좀 힘들어요 보려면.
그러게.
그래서 일단은 앞에 목표물이 고정된다.
약간 황소 같은 느낌 얘기하는 거
그러면
아니야?
뒤를 안 봐.
실제로 우리도 코뿔소한테 맞으면 죽어요.
그렇죠. 우리도 정통으로 맞으면
네.
죽어서 이게 무빙으로 좀 피해야
그러니까.
되는데 이번에는 다르다. 코뿔소가 새로운 조련사를 만났기 때문에 괜찮을 것 같아요.
완전 동의하네. 저는 그래서 키플레이어는 개인적으로 너구리 뽑고 싶은데 너구리가 원래 코뿔소 그 뿔의 상징이었잖아.
맞아요.
근데 지금 도벽 없어지고 나서 좀 재밌는 여러 평가들이 나오고 있어요. 원래 도벽이 너구리야 완전 트레이드 맞고 잘 어울렸는데 은근히 좀 이제 힘 빠지는 거 아니냐라는 얘기도 나오고 있거든요. 또 탑 메타도 되게 지금 재밌고 여러 가지로.
하지만 아직 너구리한테는 정복자가 있어요.
그렇긴 하지.
네, 정복자가 있고 저는 너구리라면 만능의 돌까지 사용할 수 있지 않을까? 진짜
그 정말
네.
너무 다루기 힘든.
네, 너무 어렵고 아무도 안 쓰는 거.
네.
근데 자기는 썼잖아요, 도벽을. 그러니까 도벽을 원래 사용하는 룬이긴 하지만 어떤 챔피언으로도 막 사용하면서 연구를 했기 때문에 너구리 괜찮을 거라고 생각이 들고요. 저는 오히려 뉴클리어. 기존에 좀 저평가를 많이 받았어요, LCK 내에서.
현실적으로.
롤드컵에 가서 오히려 너구리보다 좀 좋은 기량을 보여줬었거든요.
바텀 되게 잘했어요.
그 안에서만큼은 고점을 찍은 거죠. 어떻게 보면 그 고점을 캐스파컵에서는 얼마나 보여줄 수 있는지. 사실 여기서 보여주면 팬들의 기대치는 더 올라가고 다음 시즌 기대해 볼 수 있거든요. 담원이 뉴클리어 뽑도록 하겠습니다. 순위 결정 순위 예상을 저희 결정하진 않아요.
아무도 안 믿어 결정한다고.
순위 예상 한번 해보도록 하겠습니다. 저는 우승 후보. 그러니까 젠지랑 유일하게 맞설 수 있는 호적수다.
유일하다.
네, 왜냐면 아기 코끼리한테 코뿔소가 또 취약해요.
둘이 또 덩치가 비슷해 느낌이 약간.
그리고 코끼리가 정면으로 오는 거 피하기가 힘들거든요. 무빙이 조금 느려서. 그래서 코뿔소가 들이받으면 위험할 수도 있다.
그러게 코끼리 같은 친구.
네, 그래서 아예 막 진짜 빨리 성장해가지고 코뿔소를 덩치로 누르는 게 아닌 이상이야. 만약 비슷한 덩치면 코뿔소가 좀 승리할 확률이 높을 것 같습니다.
저희가 이게 나중에 뭐 우승 후보 얘기를 원래 해야 되는데 뭐 대충 비슷하게 나오는 것 같은데 저도 원래 젠지나 담원 이런 팀들 많이 생각하고 있었거든요. 그러니까 담원이 진짜 최소 4강 이상은 좀 가지 않을까. 선수 잘 지켰고 라인업 여전히 좀 든든하고 괜찮은 것 같아요. 강한 것 같습니다.
We are back here at the Nexon Arena for KeSPA Cup 2019. ULSAN, as Doran picks up the MVP for game number 1 with his Mega Aatrox. And DragonX are just looking like this unstoppable, mechanically gifted killing machine of a team. DAMWON, we thought, coming into the KeSPA Cup, they're the one team that hasn't changed their roster. They should have a leg up on other teams that haven't had as much time to practice together. But that was not the case in game number 1 when they got smacked around, to say the least, by DragonX.
Yeah, and I mean, DragonX, they just looked very stable and solid. So even coming now into game number 2, I'm a little bit worried for DAMWON. They really do not look in high spirits today, by the way, even during the break. That was...
maybe they're cold. Maybe they should try some freezing.
I see. Oh, Valdez. Valdez, please.
No, it's very, very nice and warm here in the studio. Don't worry.
It's not like the old SPO days.
No, we have upgraded a bit.
Yeah. All right, so ban and pick has started. Irelia.
Same sides again, by the way.
And Lucian banned by DragonX. DAMWON now, they're banning Rumble.
That was where they banned Lee Sin in game 1. So you have the opportunity for Lee Sin to sneak by.
Yeah.
If they ban Akali again.
And, well, LeBlanc now going to be banned away. Will Syndra make it through the draft phase? I feel like I would really like to see Showmaker or Chovy on Syndra. Okay.
Or Akali, if it does make it through. Both these players have had... What?
Ooh, is that signaling a Karthus
Oh.
could be on the way? I'm not...
That's Canyon, right?
It is Canyon. We'll see.
Have we even had a Karthus yet in the KeSPA Cup?
No, it's Korea.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Although I know that even some pros from EU and NA think Karthus is bad too. It's just very strange. You know, they say that opinions can't be wrong. Well, they can be. All right.
They haven't pressed star yet.
Okay, this is actually really nice to see. Akali first pick and instantly Gangplank being hovered. Now he's able to follow her mid or top and answer her in both. And, you know, I think it was the last series, right? I talked about where's Gangplank.
Yeah.
And it's really... Oh, okay, so they're going for the pirate synergy.
Yeah. They're stacking up the gold.
Now, some people would probably think like, oh, you can go Vladimir here against GP. No, Vlad doesn't beat GP. He doesn't beat him early. He doesn't beat him mid-game. He beats him later in the game. It's slightly favored. It's like 65-35 or something, Vladimir.
Yeah, even then it's not a blowout.
Right, GP can do things to win it if Vlad does make a mistake. But you're obviously picking those champions for team comp reasons, not just in the isolated one-on-one. So, Gangplank obviously a scaling menace, Misfortune as well. Rek'Sai now locked in for DAMWON, and both of these champions have to go in on the opponent. They must engage their short range, etc. Gangplank and Misfortune, what do they want to do? They want to sit back. They want to play defensively and then reach your backline with AoE. And DAMWON now picking up Xayah. Not the type of theme champion that necessarily does well against what GP and MF are offering right now. And now Elise. They pick Elise with GP.
You gonna be okay over there?
We're gonna be.
Let me get Achilles on the line.
Yeah, I'm gonna
have him fill in for the pick
I
ban.
think we're gonna need to call Papa on Discord. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna make it through the night. Rakan.
We didn't even get to see Karthus.
It's really just strange. Rakan now banned away. Even though DragonX has counterpick R5, so you don't have to ban away the Rakan, you can just counter with stuff. But Thresh now banned away.
Morgana.
Morgana, here we go. Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Now, which variation?
Aatrox.
Hold on. Let me cut this up into some pieces here. Hold on. Let me rip this up.
Okay.
Hold on. Give me that pen real quick.
Yeah.
Give me it. Which one's
Sure.
it gonna be? Hold on. Got Tom. Nautilus. Hold on. Let me add a fourth one. Leona and Braum. Which one? Hold on.
No, you're too late. It's not.
No, don't tell me.
Oh, I already told you though.
All right, hold on. I'm shuffling them up. Now, what are they going to respond to Nautilus with? Now, Nautilus, interestingly, he adds a fifth one. Oh, there it is, actually. Blitzcrank. Ooh. Pike.
No way.
Now, what if they recap... Ooh, okay. Syndra's obviously really good. Okay. All right, choose a piece of paper, Valdez. Choose a piece of paper.
All right. Let me go ahead and choose a piece of paper.
Okay.
This one looks good.
Which one is
Nautilus.
that? Well, that one was already taken. Choose again.
Oh, okay.
Quick. We only got 10 seconds.
Braum.
Braum.
Oh. Oh, Leona last second.
Foiled again.
Oh.
Hold on. There. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think that's gonna be a Nautilus mid.
No, it doesn't look
All
like
right.
it.
We were close.
Right up to the last second, and then Leona came in and foiled it again. Oh man. Kiana. Okay.
Okay. Well, we started off good, but we didn't quite make it all the way. Yeah, Middle East. All right.
Middle East. What you do is you repel when the when the ult comes out. It's good play.
Man.
All right, you gotta call it here.
Hold on. I got 30 seconds. I'm
All right,
trying to.
calculating.
I am. Hold on.
What's it gonna be? Who's got the lead in the draft?
Thinking Valdez.
10 seconds. You're almost out of time.
I am almost out of time. I
know what you're referring to.
It's honestly just so weird. It's another one of those game 1 drafts. It really is another one of those game 1 drafts. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that it's DragonX, but it really is another one of those game 1 drafts.
Another 55-45, you'd say?
I think it's like 60-40.
Okay, so a little bit extra of a lead compared to game 1 in the draft, given by LS here over to DragonX. Once again, we'll see if they can close it out 2-0, or if we're going all the way to midnight. Oh, guys. Guess what? Guess what? It's a pause time.
I am so
I think
excited.
I think you finally got caught, LS, reading the script. I think they finally caught you, and they're coming over to remove you from the broadcast.
No. Listen. Listen. It's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Now, also, by the way, if DragonX lose this game, I'm going to be really sad. I have a 100% draft prediction rate so far in KeSPA Cup.
Okay.
Hopefully,
well, we're going to find
doesn't
out
end here.
if that streak will continue as the pause is done, and we're jumping into game right now. you go. Finally getting their cheerleaders in order. Maybe they're just a bit pumped up after game number 1. DragonX absolutely styling on DAMWON. It was close for a moment in time, but as you mentioned, once the Kiana kind of ruined her path and then ran straight into the enemy jungler and top lane with no flash, it was almost like it was over from there. Hoping that Canyon can have a bit more of an impact here in game 2.
Well, Canyon's going to be on the wreck side. Now, the onus is actually on Pyoshik this time around to try to make some things happen. The Syndra should be completely fine as a standalone, but the bot lane and the top lane have to be juggled very well because of Gangplank once he has that level 6, as well as the Kiana, who's probably never going to be seen inside of the lane. So, we'll see. It looks like maybe they want to try to do something very cheesy early on. I'm not entirely sure.
Looks like they're scanning for the ward, and it's actually going to lay down a zombie ward to follow that up. So, very specific positioning there with the scanner to make sure that they could take out that ward. Nice little early level 1 play from DragonX.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens here early. Mountain Dragon is the first one to spawn. So this is the kind of game where if you're a DragonX fan, you want Infernal. You want an Infernal Soul to come up, and if you're a DAMWON fan, you really wanted Mountain or you want Ocean. Either one of those would be completely fine and acceptable. And Gangplank's actually getting shoved in here, so did not see what happened, obviously, level 1. But this is definitely strange.
Yeah, looks like Akali Nuguri did push early on, which got her level 2, and the trade started going her way. Gangplank not really able to take dominance over the lane and really push her out with parlays or anything like that. Pyoshik going for a very roundabout route. Remember, they scanned the ward early on, but now he spots Canyon going into his own jungle, so they're going to go back here and try to collapse onto Canyon. Oh, and he's standing still. The perfect setup here on a Canyon, who is going to tunnel and try to get out of this one with the flash, and he should be able to. Really nice start and setup from Pyoshik. Not able to get the kill, but chopping down Canyon and taking his flash.
Yeah. And so Canyon is going to be down his flash, which does really hurt his early engages, but it's not the end of the world. Remember, Pyoshik has to try to get more stuff going. Deft and Kyria have a really good lane state down there. Pyoshik, I'm not totally sure what he's doing right here. Just going to chunk Showmaker a little bit, actually attack the Monopool as well. Doran has to be really... Oh, clipped him, actually.
Yeah, Nuguri actually taking a bunch of damage here. They're going to try to 2-on-1. The knockup comes in. Doran trying to eat the oranges and do the damage, but there's no more. And First Blood will come in as the path from Canyon, very interesting. Another fight in the bottom side. Dredgeline is going to come in. Deft and Kyria really trying to push the level of play down here in the bottom side. Very aggressive. But the pathing from Canyon went from nearly dying in the bottom river to immediately going top. And I guess that caught Doran off guard.
Yeah. Doran now trying to get this wave crash, but Nuguri does have the teleport available. And Kyria, Deft now, they have a crash wave. They could just recall here and run straight back down to bottom, and it would be in a good lane state, but instead they're going to plant a ward on the golems, and then they're going to elect to actually stay.
Oh, engaged down here as in goes the Leona. Beryl taking a lot of damage, but so is Kyria. The flash away. Nuclear's got the advantage in health and is going to push Deft out of this one, even though he is down a level. Finally gets that level 4. Chovy on the roam here at level 5, thinking about it, not going to commit to the bottom side, and will return to the mid lane.
Now Canyon's actually running up here.
Doran has flash still.
Doran does, yeah, Doran still does have flash, but Doran is definitely dead. Yeah.
Not going to, okay, now he's gonna flash after getting that speed boost from the barrel. Attempting to get away, but the follow-up flash from Nuguri should be enough to shut him down, and there it is. Nuguri will pick up the kill. And that is 0-2 already for Doran in the top lane at 5.5 minutes.
He is not piloting this laning phase as well as he could. Showmaker just barely missing the QE right there. He is down in XP to Chovy. Well, actually, we'll see. Chovy just dinged 6. This should be Showmaker's level 6 wave, but okay, he is. So, Canyon now going to start the blue buff for Showmaker. And meanwhile, now down in bot lane, they're probably wary of what could be going on. They don't have any intel on the right-hand side. You can see they're playing very far back.
Yeah, just a matter of playing safe against a mid Kiana that can roam. Plus Elise, who is fantastic at diving, so they go for the very safe play. They don't really lose much from doing that, but they're extremely safe. So seems to be a nice little win-win for them, although the bottom lane of Nuclear and Barrel is getting behind on CS compared to Def Tier. Agree. Going on into this one.
He can't really do anything, and his lane state is just so terrible right now. Now this is definitely feels bad, man, if you are Doran in this game. And also mobility boots on the Kiana. And as a byproduct to the Gangplank falling behind, it also makes bot lane for DragonX fall behind, because when Gangplank's losing, he doesn't have as much control. His ultimate, obviously super valuable to bot lane as well. And obviously the Kiana would ideally like to have been able to have access to top lane as a place to roam to, but the laner is just so far behind, it's not really an option. And I think, yeah, Canyon gonna start the Mountain Dragon. And this is a very nice little pickup, even though they don't really itemize that many resistances. Syndra does have a Seeker's Arm Guard. Maybe it equates to an auto attack worth of health or something inside of a trade, so. Still sucks, though.
Still bad. Okay, we got that one. Infernal second is interesting, though. You were mentioning how DragonX would love an Infernal Soul. Multiple Infernal Dragons to come out, but it will be denied by it coming out here second. Does mean that it will be Ocean or Cloud.
Ocean is really good for DAMWON, if they can get it. And that's a GPL used on a wave. So DragonX are they're quite far behind right now. They're going to really need something explosive to happen here in the next 7 minutes, but nothing really going too well.
It's the sad state of affairs for a GP that dies twice in a lane against an Akali. That is, it got both of the kills, by the way, and is dominating that lane. Had a freeze for a lot of it. The bottom lane here is the one shining light for the side of DragonX. Already 29 CS with the wave crashing, so probably about 20 ahead. 21 or 22, but already at 9 minutes. That's a pretty big lead to have in here, as now we're going on to Showmaker. The flash of the stun! As, it misses, but it doesn't matter. As you and I have in the caster synergy on the awe, but he left us in awe with that amount of damage that can come out from a Kiana and an Elise. But again, the mechanics showing from the side of DragonX. Pioshik shutting that one down with the flash. Another trade in the bottom side. We've seen so many of these. Oh, a miss on the ultimate, and Beryl is going to be forced to flash. Keria does not have to use that flash. Actually, it's not even up for him just yet. Could have considered going after the Leona, probably would not have, as he was incredibly low as well with Misfortune out of range. Either way, we do have, at the same time, the Rift Herald picked up here by the Rek'Sai, and we'll take another look here at the flash.
Yeah, and you can just see Chovy, how he gets onto Showmaker, and that was a beautiful flash by Pioshik. And Showmaker just ends up going down. And trying to get this Kiana rolling is going to be pretty important for DragonX. Now, Infernal Dragon coming up in 2.5 minutes. Obviously, they would really, really, really like to get that. Even if it isn't the old Infernal Dragon, it's still an amplification for their assassins.
Okay, another fight down here. Beryl no longer having the flash, but no bullet time. Def's really trying to chase him down. Chilling Smite going to deny it for now. Still on the chase is everybody from DragonX, really trying to flex their muscles in the enemy jungle.
And so this game is really a battle between top and bottom right now. Even though Doran died twice, he's doing really fine in the CO.
Oh, the knock up into the stun. See you later, Chovy. Had his flash, but could not get out of that one. Did not expect Rek'Sai to stick around. And now with Shelly going to be dropped down here, attempting to get some plates for Showmaker. There it is, 2 plates going his way. 240 is going to be the charge.
Yeah. And now Nuguri and Canyon maybe want to try to make this kill happen. GP has ult available.
Okay, there's the knock-up Doran trying to trade it back here, and he's going to survive, but oh, the one last shot is going to get the kill. Just barely enough to take down Nuguri in the trade. The 2-on-1 dive ends up being a 1-for-1.
It ends up being a 1-for-1, and that's obviously very, very unfortunate for DAMWON. They also invested double flash into that right there. So ends up being a pretty big win for DragonX. Don't forget, Akali had a couple of kills on her at that point. So right now, as it stands, only about 800 gold is the lead for DragonX, or is the lead for DAMWON. As we take a look at how it all transpires, Akali initially has aggro, but that Hex Drinker coming in clutch. With the Gangplank ultimate, Pioshik was running top lane as fast. Does he have Hex Tech Flash? What?
Who?
Pioshik.
Pioshik, yeah, he does. Hex Tech Flash Elise. We saw he's a guy that knows how to use his flash. So maybe he can show us how Hex Tech Flash is done.
Well, this is roam timing right now for Chovy. Midwave is already crashed in. Doran doesn't have his ultimate available, but Infernal's actually coming up. Unfortunately for Chovy, doesn't have main item completion. They don't have teleport on GP. They don't have his ultimate, but it's really important that they get that Infernal Dragon. So Chovy obviously wants to shove in this wave and try to move towards the Infernal Drake.
Yep, Chovy maneuvering over towards that right now. Elise getting here before Canyon can. And it doesn't look like they're going to get there on time. Even an Engage coming in, they want to burst down that Rek'Sai, and they absolutely will. DragonX turning this game on its head immediately, picking up the Infernal Drake and a couple of kills. Wow, just like that, they pick off 2. The only unfortunate thing, though, is that Ocean Rift coming up here. DAMWON could still hold on if they can get some Ocean Drakes.
Well, and there's the Ocean, the Ocean Soul is the thing that I mentioned earlier on. So right now, DragonX, they got some plates right down there in bottom lane. They have the gold advantage. They got an Infernal Drake, and by the way, it gave MF, gave her 6 AD.
6 AD?
6. All right.
That's better than 4 armor that we saw earlier on today. So yeah.
Take a look here as Beryl and Canyon just going in blind. And honestly, it's not something that you can just do. So obviously they died there. You knew that your opponents were already on it. You were behind in prio. It's not imperative that you stop it. Yes, obviously DragonX likes the Infernal Dragon, but not the end of the world, especially because you already had a mountain. So some of the Infernal damage is obviously getting nullified a little bit. And now Canyon, he's going to start up on Shirley. But second Herald, I mean, it's nice, but doesn't really do a whole bunch.
Yeah.
The tier 1 turrets for DragonX don't really mean anything for their team composition, as opposed to let's say that was a Azir in mid lane or a Xerath. Obviously, he likes the comfort in the mid-tier 1 turret can add a thorn into an opponent's side. But when you have a team composition that's all about collapsing and flanks, it doesn't really matter what your tier 1 turrets or anything like that are.
Yeah.
In fact, you would rather invite them further up the lane.
Yeah, so you can flank them better.
There you go. It's weird how that works.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. Well.
Yeah, and we've seen teams just give away Rift Heralds, especially on this patch. I forget who did it earlier. I think it was T1. Was just like, nah, you can have it if you really want it that badly, sure. We'll get other stuff, and you're going to do like a little bit of damage to our tier 2. But we don't really care, you know?
Really, yeah, it doesn't amount to that much. You have to really view it not from an angle of like, well, an objective fell, but rather how valuable was that objective?
What do objectives mean?
That really is the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Do they really exist? Let's call up Jaden Smith and ask him what he thinks. As objectives lose priority and power and importance, you should prioritize other things, like freezing.
Nice segue.
And Karthus.
Nice ad.
And Charles. I learned about Charles just before.
You did learn about
Yeah.
Charles. Charles is he's something.
Yeah. Do
We
you have
won't
to
see
use
Charles.
the Gentleman Shogun skin?
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
There's the Charles Darwin skin, which is the dinosaur Cho.
Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah, and then there's just Charles, which is Gentleman Cho.
Okay.
And then there's Battle Cast Cho, which is Professor Charles Xavier.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
glad that you understand that. We won't be seeing any Charles in the LCK, though. They don't do new picks.
I think we saw him a couple of times last time. But after it happened once and lost, then they never played it again.
For those unfamiliar, Charles is Cho'Gath.
Yeah.
You're wondering. And Syndra has GLP. This is something that was discussed on Twitter by a few people. You can get the GLP, obviously makes your stuns a lot easier to land. But Luden's, I suppose in this instance, because you have assassins, you have people that are coming into you. You're not using Ludens as a siege item or a sustain teamfight item, so getting the GLP instead is Showmaker. 20 seconds until the Ocean Dragon. They have Gangplank Ultimate. Doran also going to have his Flash available, so really important for DAMWON. Okay, Barrel's not.
Okay, really trying to force this, and in fact, they are going to do a bunch of damage, but that is a stopwatch. As down will go the Rek'Sai, but where is the follow-up? Pyosik getting in there, trying to go to safety to Deft, as Deft is going to pick up the kill. Now Doran going mad mode in the backside. Nuguri not really finding the damage on that Assassin Akali, as Chovy is going to land that last one. Bit of damage comes out and forces that flash, and Keria showing up for the big play to land that one and pick up the kill for his team. DragonX in the brush, bait the fight, and win it big time.
Yeah, they win massively. They're going to reward themselves with an Ocean Dragon. They're also even going to take some of the camps away from DAMWON. I mean, this game is so wide open right now for DragonX. Everything is just going their way. So it starts off with Beryl being allergic to hitting his ultimate. Pyosik does get chain CC'd, but was able to actually get that Zanya's off, transform into Spider, go up the Spider well. Beryl flashes over into red and actually Pyosik follows, gets to Deft, and then Nuguri just can't do anything, and Gangplank Ultimate turns out it's a pretty good ability. It's located on the R key that's on your keyboard.
I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Keria, by the way, hero play there at the end. Deft flashing a wall again for more kills. The guy absolutely not allergic to kills, that's for sure. Has 4 already. And has 2 items, including an Infinity Edge. Here comes Chovy, thinking about it. Finds 3, says, never mind.
Well,
Although he is level 14 already
Valdez,
in this game.
can you please calm down? The bottom tier 1 turret's about to get raised.
Surely he doesn't even, like, do the damage at all.
It's
an
terrible,
outer
isn't
turret
it?
at
Isn't it
20
terrible?
minutes, and it does
awful.
half the turret's damage with no plates.
It's great. I love it.
It's definitely not an objective to...
If this was actually Monopoly right now, this would be the equivalency of collecting $20 or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Holy.
Community chest. Oh,
Yeah.
nice play by Keria. Perfect timing there as
What?
Huggery is all but dead. KeSPA over the wall. Might have been a Hextech flash. I'm not 100% sure. Able to get there on time either way, as that was one dead Akali.
Wait, hold on. Why does Nuggery have Morello? What healing?
The oranges. The oranges. I found it. It's the oranges. And, yeah, I mean, regardless of what item he had, he was going to die in this position anyway, as Keria just walls all over him.
This was really, really surprising. They valued flashing to kill him here, even though there was going to be no way that he could defend the follow-up push. And, I mean, he already had a Morello. I mean, you don't need to add salt to the wound. There's actually just no healing. There's the Gangplank W. Why does he have Morello? Hold on, I need another photo of this.
Okay, here we go. Jumping on it. That's a big bullet time this time around. KeSPA on the chase here as DragonX just styling on them. Now, the perfect timing on that one, and it's not even the rune. It was that Zhonya's DragonX takedown 3, and it looks like DAMWON have all but fallen apart. DragonX moving on to the Baron as DAMWON seem at a loss for words and for what to do in this game. The mechanical skill and the way that DragonX are playing is pretty incredible. Really showing that they're a team to be reckoned with here in the LCK. We now have a 7-0 misfortune. Absolute misfortune right now for DAMWON.
Well, we take a look at the replay here. Nuclear just really far up. And the DAMWON Gaming team composition, it has to all be together. Doesn't really work that well against the DragonX one when it's super separated. And at this point in the game, there's really no recovering. They're going to be able to get double Ocean and then threaten Soul. This Baron is going to do so much for them. And that's if DAMWON doesn't lose the game in the next 2 minutes. And the items and the runes and everything just working against DAMWON in this game. I mean, you have Morello on Akali. She's finally going into what I assume to be Zhonya's. You have Rek'Sai building Black Cleaver, even though it's only Xayah and Rek'Sai doing the physical damage. And also you have Phase Rush on Syndra against DragonX here.
Yeah.
Very important. So,
interesting idea.
there's a lot of fundamental issues in this game, and when it's hit this point, when DragonX has this kind of a lead, I think it's pretty far-fetched to imagine a world where DAMWON come back.
Yeah, I'm getting close to asking you at what point did you know it was over? As we've seen a lot of weak Kianas. Speaking of weak, we have Nautilus who had to flash away from that one. Nice little try at a trade back from KeSPA, but either way, Nuclear taking an immense amount of damage. That's really what should be highlighted as the Baron buff still available here on the push. Chovy just deciding what lane he wants to massacre right now. Thinking about it as he's trying to get over the wall. There he goes. Inhibitor 1 is going to go down. Chovy, awkward spot here, is going to be able to get away. Doran pushing the bottom side. Baron, still 50 seconds left. Not going to push in yet. Oh, that's a big one. It happened so fast, I didn't even see it. I think it was a cocoon. As, oh boy, Bullet Time is actually going to get that kill. Looked like it was out of range, but it didn't matter. That's an 8-0 legendary MF coming out from Deft, who is having a massive day. Showmaker, I'd advise not running at the Nautilus. Maybe choose a different direction. Down goes the Xayah, and DragonX say, DAMWON? You mean Dom who?
Oh, like that Twitter random.
Yeah.
All right,
And that's how you do it. 2 games in a row. Carrier's got a massive smile on his face. I don't blame him. The guy had a big game on Nautilus. As a new member of this lineup, should be extremely happy. Steph is just, he's in heaven, man. He's getting shoulder massages from CV Max. He's got teammates that actually do things. And not to say that the members of Kingzone last year weren't doing much, but their new lineup, man, a bunch of young guys with incredible mechanical talent, and DAMWON kind of looks like they were stuck in the past. Not really sure what to think about this. We expected more from a lineup that's been together for longer than any other lineup here in the KeSPA Cup.
It's really uncomfortable looking at the player cams at the end of the games. It really does look like something's going on though with DAMWON. Normally I don't want to read into something too much, but it looks uncharacteristically unhappy. You know what I mean? Yeah. As Pyoshik gets the MVP here.
I was just wondering why Pyoshik got the MVP. Maybe you could. He's very good at reactions.
I think I've only agreed with 1 MVP.
Yeah, that's usually a bad sign with when both casters usually agree or only agreed with like 1 or 2 MVPs the entire tournament. I don't know how that's even possible, honestly. What exactly did Elise do in this game? I really don't. I don't know what it is, but I suppose they wanted to hear from Pyoshik in the interview. That's really all I can say. This is a good play, okay? He had a couple of flashy plays. I think that wowed a couple of people a little bit too much.
That one was good, but the one where he got caught and then got into Hourglass, etc., other players did stuff very good in that.
He had 1 play. 1. Again, I'm just going to say, I think they just want to hear from him in the interview. That's my only explanation. New player here on the side of Kingzone.
Right here, what did he do?
Nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's frustrating.
It's okay.
It definitely is.
It's all right, Valdez. Don't worry.
But it's okay. It's okay. Definitely a big game from DragonX. I think they're the team to beat now. I don't know. T1 looked good, obviously, but this team just looks...
T1 looked very good, but...
Not this dominance, though.
Yeah, so we're going to have to take a look at the brackets. They meet in the finals, right? DragonX and T1?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe they're on opposite sides of the bracket. Yeah.
They'll probably end up meeting in the finals. That would be my guess. And this is what I think I tweeted out actually before today. Thought it would be T1 and DragonX looking the best coming into 2020, with DAMWON and Gen G following right behind. And below that would be Sandbox, probably at 5th. I mean, that would probably be my rankings right now of the top 5 of LCK teams, but very dominant game number 2 here, 25 minutes and 13 seconds. This game had some conditions to be met. Things were going a little bit slow early on, though. But then the kill onto Syndra, that started getting some stuff rolling. The botch of the top lane dive. Goran, though, apparently no interview. Oh, we do have interview. All right, we're getting that in our ear. Sorry. I thought we were just told.
We have an interview, guys, and we're going to go to that right now. Let's hear from our 2 MVPs. Doran and Pyoshik.
자, 아무래도 이번에 정말 도란 선수가 너무나도 멋진 활약을 보여주셨습니다. 강력한 라이너를 상대로 좋은 활약을 보여주셨는데 먼저 승리 소감 한번 들어보겠습니다.
How do you feel after the win?
탑이 엄청 강한 팀이라 좀 많이 긴장했는데
I know Nugger's extremely strong.
괜찮게 풀려서 잘 이긴 것 같아서 좋아요.
네. 자 이제 16강 경기에서 승리를 가져가셨긴
So I
했습니다만
knew it
아무래도
was going to be
도란
hard, but
선수의
I feel
활약을
kind of lucky that we
더욱
did as well as
그런
we did.
열띤
I
성원이
did.
있었습니다. 그런데 오늘 말 그대로 그런 성원에 힘입어서 너무나도 좋은 활약을 보여주셨는데 이전 경기와는 어떤 식으로 준비를 하셨는지 혹은 뭐 마음가짐의 변화가 있었다면 어떤 부분이 있었는지 궁금합니다.
제 마인드가 좀
So what did you prepare
좀
in your
많이
mind coming into
안
this one?
좋았다 생각하고 거기 이번 캐스파 1경기 첫 경기 끝나고 또 그
So he doesn't have. He's not great at
좀
controlling
고치면서
his emotions and his mindset.
좀 흔히 말해 정신병 같은 걸 좀 고치기
So after the
위해서
first round of the
게임에서
KeSPA Cup,
좀잘
my main
자,
objective
그만큼
was to have a good
정말
mentality.
극복이 어려웠던 부분을 너무나도 완벽하게 극복했다라고 느껴졌습니다. 자 이제 경기 속에서의 내용을 좀 여쭤보고 싶은데요. 이 초반 정말 상체가 걱정이 많았던 그런 어떤 DRX였는데 너구리 선수를 상대로 좋은 활약들을 보여주셨습니다. 어떤 부분이 오늘 라인전을 이기는 승리 요인이었는지 궁금합니다.
일단 CVMAX 감독님이 얼마 전에 두려움을
So top mid and jungle from
잘
DAMWON are extremely
조절을
strong.
하라고
So you probably had
좀
some
말해줬는데
worries coming
좀 깊게
into this
생각하면서
matchup.
게임에 임했던 것 같아요.
그 두려움 극복 이제 다음 상대하는 팀이 바로 아프리카 프릭스인데
Our
상대
coach CV
라이너가
Match gave
기인이거든요.
some good advice on that to have no
기인
fear,
선수를
basically, and
그런
just
조언들이
play
좀
your
도움이
game.
될까요?
두려움을 극복은 아니고
So what do you think about the next
도전하는
matchup against
건데,
Keen?
그
Do you have
부분에서
confidence in that one?
잘하면 좋은 성적 나올 것 같아요.
그렇습니다. 자 이제 한타에서의 또 어떤 질문을 여쭤보고
So I think
싶습니다.
CV
첫
Max,
번째 세트에서 아무래도 담원 게이밍이
His
한타에서 정말
advice will help for that
공격하다라는 얘기가
matchup as
있었던
well.
만큼 이 팀 단위로 한타에서 많은 부분들을 좀 신경을 썼을 것 같습니다. 그때 어떤 이야기들이 오갔고 또 어떤 부분을 신경 썼는지도 여쭤보고 싶습니다.
so what was your strategy in
초반에
team fights?
좀 불리하게 구도가 잡혀서 초반에 좀 안전하게 하려는데 좀 생각 외로 잘 풀려서 좀 제가 좀 잘 풀려서 그냥 쉽게 편하게 게임했던 것 같아요.
쉽게 편하게 또 승리를 가져갔다고 하셨습니다. 근데 두 번째 세트는 약간 어려운
So
점이
in
있었거든요.
the first set, we were
그럼에도
supposed to have
탑
a
쪽에서
disadvantage
러브샷이
actually in
나오는
the
그런
early
장면들이
game,
있었습니다.
but we got
그때
ahead
뭐
early
기분이나 또 상황을 들어보고
against the
싶거든요.
flow of play.
처음에
So it was
2대
kind of an
했을 때
easy
제가 목이랑 등에서 땀이 너무 많이 나가지고
네.
게임 집중이 잘 안 되는데 그래도 아래쪽에서 좋은 소식 계속 들려주고 뭐 게임이 잘 풀리니까 저도
So when
힘입어서
entering
열심히
the
잘했던
second
것
game,
같아요.
I got really
자,
nervous
그런
and
힘을
sweaty.
줬던 선수가 바로 옆자리에 있습니다. 표식 선수 인터뷰 한번
But
진행해
I
보겠습니다.
got
자,
good
옆자리로 한번
advice
모셔볼게요.
and good words from our teammates, my teammates.
자, 표식 선수 정말 팬분들이 이제 열띤 또 성원이 있는데 오늘 승리 소감 먼저 들어볼게요.
So you have a lot of fans. How about some comments?
담원전에서 이렇게 잘할 줄은 몰랐고요. 앞으로
I never expected to do this
자,
well,
보여줄 게 많다. 그런데 오늘 보여주지 못한 거 바로 킨드레드인데 킨드레드 밴이
but
됐을
I
때
still have a lot of
우승 어떤
fans
의미라고
to
볼 수
show.
있을까요?
그 찍혔어요.
아, 그럼요. 네.
그냥 제 킨드가 좀 무섭긴 하구나. 다시 역시 프로에서도 먹히는구나.
인정을 받았다.
약간
네.
어깨 드귿자 됐어요.
So it feels like my Kindred
다음 상대 마찬가지 아프리카
is
프릭스를
like pro
상대할 텐데
level
다음 표식은 누구라고 여쭤볼
after
수 있을까요?
getting so many fans.
제가 아마추어 때 스피릿님한테
So who's your next target or Yoshik? Who's your next mark,
만약
basically?
스피릿님이 나온다면 그때 그 감정을
Play
되살려서
on his
다음
ID.
경기 때 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
I have some bad memories with Spirit, so I suppose it should be Spirit to try to get revenge on.
말씀하신 대로 좀 힘든 상황이 있었는데 그때 정글러로서 어떤 식으로 경기를 풀어나가야겠다라고 다짐을 하셨는지요?
형 안 죽으면 이기는데 자꾸 죽어줘가지고 좀
네. 네. 그래서 아무래도 뭐 좋은 스펠 활용들과 뭐 더불어서 미드에서도 스펠을 전면을 활용하면서 뭐 신드라의 스킬을 피했던 그런 장면들이 있었는데 그때는 어떤 식으로 좀 마인드 컨트롤을 하면서 경기를
We were talking about some
운영하셨는지요?
hard moments, but he said the enemies just were dying pretty easily.
신드라가 스킬 쓰길래 피하고
How do you avoid
던진 것 같아요.
Syndra's skills so well?
피지컬로 했습니다.
피지컬로 이루어졌다. 자 이제 뭐
It was my
충분히 각오는
mechanics.
들어봤습니다만
Straight up, he's
역시나
just
오늘
like, yeah, I've
새해를
got good
마무리하는
mechanics. That's how.
그런 경기였음에도 또한
Kinda like
시작을
this
알리는
guy.
경기였다고 또 생각이 들거든요. 응원해주신 팬분들께 한마디 전해주신다면요?
Shoutouts to your fans.
가장 불안했던 라인이 솔직히 제가 생각해도 정글이긴 하거든요. 아마추어 때부터 뭐 그냥
So
갑자기
he feels like
일본어로
he's
쓰는
the weakest part of his
은-
team, actually.
그 말을 받아주냐 이러면서
네.
걱정
feels like he's an
많이들
amateur
하셨을 것
still.
같긴 한데 앞으로 더 좋은 모습 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
알겠습니다. 자 이제 옆에 계신 도란
But he
선수도
really
오늘
wants to
뭔가
build
색다른 또
a
다짐을
name for
전해주실 수 있을
himself
것 같습니다.
and
팬분들께 한마디
gain some
전해주신다면요.
more fans and gain
어,
confidence
이제
from the
때
fans that he can
성별
also
차이
be a
나서 좀
carry for the team.
힘들었는데, 네, 또 이제 몇 시간 있으면 2020년이니까
He said he had some difficulties because of the jungle gap.
kind
of making fun of
좋은
Pyoshik.
모습 또 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
자 그렇습니다. 오늘 인터뷰로 인해 두 분이 사이가 좀 멀어지시는 건 아니겠죠?
He's gonna have a good
네.
2020
너무나도 오늘 좋은 합을
specifically,
보여준 두 선수의 인터뷰였습니다.
That's-
승리 다시 한번 축하드립니다.
where he wants to prove himself and have a good year.
자 이렇게 정말 기분 좋은 오늘
So good to hear from them. A couple of newer, not super confident in the interviews, but definitely some fun stuff to hear from them. I like Doran kind of trash talking, and Pyoshik, I like the way he is. He knows that he's an amateur. He seems very he knows what he is basically. He's like a newer player, but he has confidence still that he's a really strong player. And so he really wants to show that to all the fans on the pro stage. So I'm actually excited to see more from Pyoshik, to see if he can actually pull up that jungle side on DragonX, because as a team, as a whole, they look pretty unstoppable against even a great team in DAMWON Gaming. They made DAMWON look pretty weak. We'll see what they can do in the next stage, LS.
Yeah, I think it's going to be DragonX versus T1 in the finals. And I mean, pretty nice for LCK 2020 spring.
Yeah, I like that.
Because things are shaping up quite nicely. Maybe not the drafts, but that's all right. We can have high hopes for next year.
I wouldn't
So.
get your hopes up, LS.
All right. Well,
more Nautilus versus Tom Kench to come in 2020.
let's take a look at what games are remaining. We're going to have Afrika taking on DragonX, and then we're going to have Sandbox taking on T1. Now, if T1 does field Kana there, Summit is going to be... He's going to get tested. Okay, Summit is a part of the Elite Four. And then, if he can beat Summit, probably get tested again in the finals against the newest addition to the Elite Four, which is Doran. But that's what my predictions are. I have DragonX
At this
and
point,
T1.
I would agree that it should be T1 versus DragonX in the final.
Yep.
I don't see Sandbox overcoming T1. Although I think I have a slightly less strong opinion about T1 and how strong they are. I think they're obviously going to be top 4. But I don't know if they're going to be number 2. At this point, DragonX looks like number 1. And the rest of it is kind of up in the air for 2 to 4 for me. What?
Your his phone provider is KT.
Yeah.
So just shut up. I've had enough.
Well, even if
Ridiculous.
it's SKT, they're not SKT anymore. They're T1. So there you go. KT is the
guy.
best. No, I don't want to say anything.
What?
Anyway, that was a fun day of League of Legends, guys. We had a lot of great drafts. We had LS going 5 for 5
I'm
on draft
100%
calls.
through the tournament so far.
5 for 5
today.
after today.
But I'm 100%.
100%. We'll see if you can continue that as we'll join you guys for the semis on January 3rd, Korean time. We'll see you there. Have a good night and Happy New Year.